Hi, Bridget. How are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. To briefly go over our last session, you were talking about some of the issues that you were having at work with your manager as well as like some other coworkers, I believe. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what we were talking about. Yeah.
And we were also touching base off of wanting to work on some like time management or just like some like coping skills with everything going on between work, school, and home.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Is there anywhere you wanted to start for this session?
Well, going back to my boss, I did speak to him. It's not the answer that I wanted, but I got an answer at least. I just feel like, with me being their longest employee, I feel like I'm getting put on the back burner, even though that they're saying things to, I think, just to keep me around. But we'll see in the next couple weeks. I hope that changes. He said it could be about a month before I transition out of case management into counseling because I really want to get a chance to get my next license, and it's been real frustrating, but we'll see. I gotta learn to trust the process.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of process this is processing, but it's processing. So
You said that you felt like you were on the back burner.
hmm
Can you go more into that?
yeah, so he keeps wanting to hire more counselors. And I feel like every time that they do that, I feel like they keep pushing me back and back and back and back. And I also work with one of the case managers that they hired. He acts like he's like the only case manager we have, and he doesn't talk to me, and there's no communication, and it's quite unnerving because I've been the case manager literally the whole time, and
Yeah.
then he comes in and wants to run everything, and it's quite infuriating.
So from your perspective of like the constantly getting pushed back and just being frustrated overall, like you don't feel as valuable in the company?
Personally, no, not at this time. But they do keep validating my performance of how good I am and how they feel like they talk me and my other coworker up, like we're the only two that are really doing a lot of stuff. So like I'm hearing it verbally, but I'm not seeing it like I feel like I should type of thing. I know that sounds selfish, but I don't feel as supported as I feel like I should.
Would you say that like in your mind you're more stagnant because you're being told one thing but the actions aren't meeting the words?
Yeah, like I feel like I'm again just kind of stuck and I'm not growing again, and that's I don't like feeling that way, and that makes me want to find another job, even though I like it where I'm at. I just when I verbalize what I wanted, I just feel like I'm not getting it, and it kind of just I know I have the hours, I just don't have counseling hours to
Okay.
get this license.
Is there a way to get the counseling hours through your job?
That's what I'm trying to do, and it just feels like they're pushing it back for some reason, and I don't understand what their reasoning is. And whenever I try to talk to them, it's kind of a roundabout.
Okay, so for you, it feels more like they want to keep you at your current level because they value you at this current level and don't want to lose you to like a higher position.
Yeah, I think so. Cause my boss told us that he's hiring more counselors and stuff, and I had to pretend that I was excited when really I'm not excited at
Yeah.
all about that. Because, hello, I'm standing right here. Like, this is what I want to do. Give me this opportunity, please.
Yeah. Um, would there be an avenue in your job to where you can talk to somebody higher than your manager about seeking?
The owners know what I want, but the owners don't really know how to get there, like because they're not clinicians themselves. They kind
Okay.
of just they and but they know what I want and they're on board with it. I just have to get those hours signed off by my clinical director.
Okay. And the frustration is coming from the clinical director giving you the, as you put it, the roundabout
Yeah, like
methods.
yeah, and she knows that I'm in school, so she's going to help me with the mental health part and kind of transition into that, which I think is going to be a really cool thing because that's her. She's an LSW, she's an LISW, and she specializes in mental health, which is I thought was really cool. So she's going to help me like kind of spearhead, my schooling stuff, which is great. But I don't want to be just a case manager anymore. Like I don't I want more responsibility as and I want to practice my skills. I want to flourish in that sense.
Yeah, you want that next level, that next
Yeah,
uh
like cuz the more I'm in school and the more I practice these skills in my groups and stuff, the more itching I want to do it. The more excited I get to actually like practice and to get in there.
yeah. So with all of that being said, would you have another method of obtaining these goals, or are you still a little stagnant in all of that?
I mean, unless another opportunity like and I don't necessarily want to start over at a new job, but if I have to, I will. But I'm gonna let it ride out and see what this process looks like before I make any rash decisions
Okay.
on my part. Because I've made rash, impulsive decisions before, and it some of them didn't turn out all that great. So I'm gonna my higher power is telling me to sit down and keep waiting and let's see what that looks like.
Okay. Um, you've mentioned that you've had like the rash and impulsive decision making before, and like you've acknowledged that. How is that affecting your thought process with the frustration with work?
The more frustrated I get, the more impulsive thoughts I get. Like, I spend a lot of money that I don't have on things for instant gratification. Um, I have been a little anxious more lately than I normally have, which I'm trying to rein in. Um, and then like, on top of that, like, when something goes wrong at work, I'm like, oh, I'm so frustrated. Like it makes me, I'm like this close to finding a new job. I'm this
Yeah.
close to looking for a new job. That's kind of like what my impulsive thoughts have been lately. And they're quite apparent because I'm aware of them versus just, oh, I'm just doing this to do this. I've got to
Okay.
learn to rein myself back in.
So are you wanting to possibly look at other coping mechanisms instead of the impulse buying for the instant gratifications?
Oh, I would love to find something healthier and more sustainable to life than me buying. I would like to start journaling. I did think about that the other day, but I couldn't find my journal, my plain journal that I had bought in a long time ago. Once I clean my little area that I feel like it's in, maybe I'll find it and start journaling. I feel like until I find, you know, another outlet, maybe that could be a start. I feel,
Okay.
but yeah, definitely finding a healthier coping skill would be fantastic.
Okay. So between now and our next session, do you want to try doing the journaling to help work through those frustrating feelings and like the navigating those impulse buying tendencies?
Oh yeah, I can definitely try that, and I can definitely keep you updated on that.
Perfect. And then is there anything else that you wanted to address in our next session as we move forward?
No, I think my work frustration, and I don't want to manifest it, but might be going on for quite some time just because of all the transitions that are happening. Until I feel fully better about it, I feel like I'll be talking about it quite often.
Okay.
Um, because it's still kind of fresh and it's still happening every day, and it keeps kind of piling and piling and piling, and it's like, oh, dang. But I feel like journaling is a good start.
Okay. Well, we are more than welcome to continue talking about it in our next session, as well as exploring how the journaling goes if that works for you.
Oh yeah, perfect.
Perfect. Well then, I guess I will see you in about 2 weeks for your next appointment.
Okay. See
All right, I'll see you next time.
you next time.
Are we supposed to do feedback?
Yep, we are now doing feedback.
All right.
Yes.
So,
Lay it on.
I think your questions that you did were like really open and you were able to, understand what was going on by the questions that you asked. I think if I were to give you a little bit of a critique, maybe more like nonverbal cues, like the nodding your head. You
Yeah.
said it, or you did like yeah a couple times, and you did like the blank slate really well. But I think that would be the only thing, but you did fantastic. Bridget,
Um,
do you have anything?
Yeah, I agree. I think the more we do this, like the more free flowing it is. I felt it was less rehearsed, if that makes sense, this time than it was last
Yeah.
time.
that's because I didn't write a script this time.
I thought it went real free flowing. And plus,
Mhm.
honestly, it did make me feel good to get some of that out because that's a real time stress for me. So it was nice to let that out a little bit. I don't really have, there was a couple times where we kind of talked over each other for a second. I think that we both kind of got excited and like we both kind of were like, "Oh, hey, I have a thought" at the same time. But
Yeah.
it wasn't like you were just talking over me to talk over me or like barrel over me, but you kind of stopped, which was great. Um, but other than that, though, I think it went really smooth this time. So
Cool. So just going off of what it said for like the practicing the summarizing, how would you guys say that I did for like the focusing, signal, thematic, and planning?
the planning you did really well because, like, we talked about coping skill. You gave me a coping skill to work on what I said I wanted to do, which is I think is a good start. Um, I liked how you kind of like went from one subject to another subject, if that makes sense. Like I started out talking about stress, but you picked out one of the topics for the stress and you narrowed it down to that one specific thing instead of me, because like my anxious mind in general goes whoo 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 all over the place, and I could talk about this, and this instead of doing all that and not knowing what we're talking about. You were like, swoop, I'm gonna narrow it down. This is what I asked, and then it went on to the flowing topic. So.
And then
So,
like,
oh, go ahead.
I know we were like trying to like go to like a deeper meaning.
Mm.
Did I successfully go deeper than surface level?
I'm gonna ask Caitlin on that one because she was the third party.
Oh, I think I think you went in there when you were talking about like the like getting into like yeah this boss, is like keeping you, from going up, for their own benefit and whatnot. I think you got the deeper meaning to that. So I
Sweet.
would say yes. So,
Perfecto. Thank you.
alrighty.